I missed being in the military. Today's been one of those days, but you know, I got awesome family like y'all out there.
Yes,
I
sir.
know the fire departments had to do some of the same things for you too. Had to have.
Yeah, they've done. Yeah. It's definitely being with fire department, being in EMS and stuff like that. It taught me a very, very strict discipline, I guess. Chain of command. It's just like the military. It's all about chain of command. Some of the guys are a joke, but you still got to listen to them because they're higher than you in command.
Right.
Some people think they know what they're doing. Some people don't. Some people have no idea whatsoever.
Right.
They went through school, college, the whole 9 yards. They're supposedly a firefighter. They're supposedly a paramedic. And they've never been on the street.
Right.
Except for maybe a month or so before they got promoted because they knew somebody or blew somebody.
Right.
And I hate to say it, me and my friends joke around about it. You know what EMS stands for, right? And I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at for this one. You know what EMS stands for? Extramarital sex. There are males and females. We work together for 24 hours a day. Things happen. Usually it's supposed to be like Vegas, but sometimes it's not. But it's something that, when I got to South Carolina, when I was in New York, I had taken a lot of training classes.
Right.
Fire classes, especially, confined space rescue, firefighter 1, firefighter 2, hazmat tech, weapons of mass destruction, nuclear biological warfare, has just everything. There's a bunch of other classes, but I don't have my book in front of me to give you all of them. But I gave it to my chief, the chief that I applied for in South Carolina, in City of Hanahan. And he looked at me and said, "You have more certifications than I do or anybody in this department does, I think." And never want to take it. He says, "When can you start?" They said, "Oh, wait, and you're a paramedic? Okay, when can you start?"
Nice.
So, I've gotten lucky, but, I started in South Carolina and heard Yankee go home the entire time until somebody wrote it or saw what I could do. So,
I never took my firefighter 1. I do have my degree in hazmat. It's kind of funny. I can't spell worth of shit, but you give me the periodic table and I'll blow your mind.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah, but it's I did go through the burn houses and stuff like that they had up over in Gastonia, and let me tell you guys, what it's like. This shit's fucking cement. That shit's fucking hot. But training's one thing, but when it's actually time to go into a building, dude, it's like you're not even paying no attention to it. It's just like it's not even fucking there. And then our sirens that we have on our uniforms, that whenever, if somebody gets hurt or knocked out, them sons of bitches are loud, and you literally can hear that shit through all the commotion.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't like the cleanup afterwards. Getting back to the fire station, dragging all the hoses back out, washing everything off, getting everything back into the truck and accounted for and all that. Like, damn, where's the grunts when we...
Yeah, right. Where the pros at? Oh, yeah. Well, it's a true statement. Everybody says, you go to school to be a paramedic, EMT, whatever. Same thing with the fire. And once you actually do, your actual training starts the first day on the job.
Uh-huh.
That's when your actual training starts. Whatever you learn in the book, you can be a book smart anything. But until you've gotten some type of experience and you start doing stuff on your own and seeing how things are done on the street, that's your training. That's when training actually starts. Right. Day one of I'm on the truck. I'm with my FTO.
I got to show Ron up real quick. Ron, okay, NPK on a bag of fertilizer. Okay, forgive me for not pronouncing these correctly, but it's nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Kiss my ass. I don't know everything, but it's something. But I mean, you're right, man. It's and this is one thing that you probably realize too is, I actually, and this was just my thoughts. Number one, it takes so long, especially like in the city of Charlotte, and I'm pretty sure it does in New York too. It takes so long to even get on with the fire department. It's like a year process.
Oh, yeah.
But in that process, I think they should make it mandatory that you go join up with a volunteer fire department during that process. And, that way you can get some knowledge of what's going on. At least the equipment that's used on the truck.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you need a splitter, what size of splitter do you need? If you your equipment that you go in and you busting through the fucking roofs and shit like that with. I mean, you need to know what's on your truck. You need to know what truck you're going to be using. I mean, I do think they should make that kind of mandatory, just like I think you should be a grunt in the military before you were even able to put fucking officer stripes on. Just saying. I mean, because a lieutenant that's never been in is pretty much a private with a college degree. You need that experience to be able to lead your guys and teach your guys shit. If not, then...
The one thing I liked most about when I started with the volunteer fire department was that I had an application period. And it took almost a year. And with the application period, I wasn't allowed to ride the truck. I had to show up 2 and 3 times a week. Get signed off on that I went over this on the truck, where this was on the truck. How to do this, how to pack hose. I mean, before I was even able to join and actually get my badge, I had to learn all this stuff, how to do the training with the confined space training and the get out alive training. So when I actually went into and finally got voted into the department, then I was ready. I had some firsthand experience. Not so much riding the trucks, et cetera, except during training that was the only day we were allowed to do it, was they would take us to where we were training, and that was it. Yeah. We had to go through the small path. So that helped a lot when I first got into the department. So I wasn't completely freaked out the first time it happened. I was. First fire I walked into, I'm like, holy shit. You're coming down the block, and all of a sudden you see fire and smoke, and you're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna suck.
Right.
Flat out. And yeah, I just like every other phobia, I screwed up quite a bit. Had a lot of fun doing it, during the process, but at this point,
Ron's asking anything. He goes, wonders if the military is still in limbo to transferring into civilian life. No, that being a firefighter, being a first responder, you're in civilian life every day. You're dealing with the public every day. You're really not leaving home and not. I mean, you're in a different culture, but you're not, Ron. It's different. And I will say, the military, as far as being able to transfer back into the civilian world, has a long way to go. That program, that motherfucking program should be just as long as it takes you to get in, just like basic and AIT should take just as long to get out. Because a lot of people could use it. But there are a lot of good things that the fire department does teach you, and EMS for that matter. There are some things that does cross train between the two, like the nasopharyngeals, which I hated fucking having that damn thing stuck down. You ever had one of those put down your nose, Keith?
Yes, once.
Fuck.
Never again.
No. But and I'm pretty sure did the police department, would they come to your firehouse and train with the tasers before they were allowed to carry? Yeah, fuck that too.
Yeah, use them, yeah.
Fuck that too,
yeah,
man.
That's when my first experience of being tased was during training.
That shit was not
for the police department.
Fun. And see, we didn't have to. We were there to be there for the cops, but they asked, do y'all want to go through it? I was like, fuck yeah, I'll go through it. You're only going to shock me for like a couple of seconds. That motherfucker felt like 5 years. That hurt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. first time I took the full shot, and then they're like, who, we want to demonstrate the daisy chain. I'm
Right.
like, and of course, me
Shit.
being the idiot that I am, me and my partner, decided, all right, screw it, why not? So me and him link arms, and one of the cops linked our arms to the other side, and they put a probe on the cop's arm on the one end and mine on the other end, and hit the button, and we all hit the ground.
Oof. Well, I will say this: at least they had some nice cushion pads. At least we didn't have to hit the concrete floor. I mean,
very true.
Damn. Yeah, that shit burns. Ghost, you ever been through anything like that, man?
Not really. I mean, the closest thing I've ever come to, like, this, in regards to like any kind of fire or anything like that, was, 7 or 8 years ago. Somebody's dumbass decided to leave a mattress out behind my house in the alley, and pretty much the result was I came home to seeing black smoke coming up by my house, freaked the fuck out. I pulled up because I was about 2 blocks away and I also saw this black smoke. I pulled up to my house and realized it was coming from the alley. Get in the alley, and what somebody had done was they had pulled the mattress up next to a fucking structure and lit it on fire, and went to fucking it went up quick, and I was sitting there trying to throw fucking buckets of water on it and spraying it with a fucking 70-foot fucking water hose.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing you guys think, things like that, mattresses or anything, any household, furniture and stuff like that, polycarbonate. As soon as you freaking light the match to it, it gets hot enough and it goes up like wildfire. Like watching a fireworks show.
Like, I had one incident where me and my brother were actually going to town, and there's a back road. You have to go up this huge fucking hill. It's kind of a shortcut instead of going the long way around. And we get to the top of the hill, and I see black smoke coming out of a freaking car. It looked like it was coming out from the doors and windows. But apparently it was some kind of electrical fire in the car. Me and him were both freaking out. I thought somebody might have been inside because the headlights were still on, taillights were still, everything was on. The car was still running, but it was blowing black smoke out from the inside. And it had caught on fire on the inside, and I guess somebody had rigged something up there in there, done some custom wire work for a CD player, and didn't do something right, and it was jacked.
Yeah, it's like driving down the road, and fires can just happen. Car overheats for a little while. It starts to, throw off too much heat, and all of a sudden, when you see yellow smoke, the yellow fire, it's not so bad. There's different colors.
Right.
When it's that blue, almost white color, we've got some issues.
That's that hot shit.
That's, phosphorus, it could be anything that's in the vehicle itself. Firewall could be, depends on the make and model of the car. We decided they were going to put jet fuel in their car because they were trying to race it. I've seen that before. That's always fun.
And for those of y'all don't know what we're talking about, take a butane lighter and a regular lighter and light them. That butane lighter blows out blue. It's fucking hot and it's pressurized. That fucking regular lighter is just orange. Still burns, but that butane lighter will fuck you up quick. Same thing like what Keith's talking about. If you're seeing a fire and you're seeing blue flames, white flames, that's your hottest points. That's you don't want to be around that shit. Fucking get away.
One of the things that, country, you've heard me say this before, our motto in fire and EMS, police, any first responders are, we can't fix stupid, but it keeps us informed.
We kind of use that in OSHA a little bit. OSHA came into law back in 1970. Why? Because people kept doing stupid shit to get hurt on the job. That's why they made the fucking book. And it still grows every fucking year, and there's new amendments done to it every damn year. There's a reason why you're not supposed to put your hand in front of a nail gun. Just saying.
Yeah. There's a reason it's got a safety on it.
Right. Yeah, we can't fix stupid. We can try, we can train, we can teach.